Have you ever stared at your fish tank and thought there has to be an easier way to do this? Because I have. More times than I can count. Between water changes, tangled cords, and trying to scoop a runaway fish with a net that somehow shrinks when you need it most, aquarium life can feel a bit overwhelming. But today, I'm going to share some DIY aquarium hacks that seriously changed the game for me. These are tips you'll wish you knew way earlier. Some of them are weird, some are genius, all of them are super useful. But before we get started, I would like to invite you to join over 1,000 fish aficionados to our weekly cool and quick fish facts. Just go to aquariumsource.com/subscribe. I promise it won't smell fishy. Really, who teaches you about the honey gourami with a Brad Pitt gif? Okay, let's kick things off with one of my favorites. Ever struggle with floating plants that drift all over your tank like they have somewhere to be? You can corral them easily using a simple plastic embroidery hoop. Just drop it on the surface of the water and boom, you've got a neat floating plant island. Your fish get shade, your plants stay put, and you look like a genius. Here's another one I wish someone had told me about before I spent money I didn't need to. Instead of buying expensive filter floss, try using plain polyester pillow stuffing. Just make sure it's 100% polyester and unscented with no additives. It works like a charm, traps debris like a pro, and costs a fraction of the branded stuff. Plus, it's kind of satisfying to cut it into perfect little filter pads. This one's for the Betta lovers out there. You can enrich your Betta's life by using a small mirror for just a few minutes a day. It gives them a chance to flare and exercise without stress. Just don't leave it in too long or you'll have one cranky fish. Think of it as their daily gym session with a little drama. Now, if you're like me and hate the look of airline tubing zigzagging across your tank like a confused spaghetti noodle, there's a fix for that too. You can paint it. Seriously, just grab some aquarium-safe paint, or even use heat-safe black tubing and it blends right into your background. Your tank goes from looking like a science experiment to a sleek underwater paradise. Let's talk frozen food. Instead of wrestling with tiny cubes or thawing out whole packs, every time just pre-portion your frozen food using an ice cube tray. Add your bloodworms or brine shrimp mix with a bit of tank water, freeze it, and pop out a cube when it's time to feed. Less mess, less waste, and way more convenient. Okay, let's talk about water changes. Nobody loves them, but they're a necessary evil. My hack. You don't need to lug buckets around like a medieval peasant. Just grab a long length of clear tubing and use gravity to your advantage. Place a bucket lower than your tank, suck on the end to start the siphon, and voila, you've got a super simple water changer. Want to level up? Attach the other end to a sink adapter and you've got a water changer worthy of a pro. Speaking of water changes, let me show you how to make cleaning your substrate easier. Instead of vacuuming the entire gravel bed every week, try spot cleaning with a turkey baster. Yup, just squirt and suck up the debris. It's like a tiny poop sniper for your tank. Cheap, precise, and oddly satisfying. Now this next one is for all of us who've struggled with feeding fry or picky eaters. Instead of letting food float everywhere and vanish into the filter, use a feeding ring. Don't want to buy one? No problem. Make your own out of airline tubing. Form it into a circle and secure the ends with a suction cup. Drop the food inside and it stays put. Your fish learn where dinner is served and you don't waste food. Here's one that made my life easier during summer power outages. You can create a DIY battery-powered air pump using a USB-powered air pump and a portable phone charger. Your fish get oxygen, you get peace of mind, and your wallet doesn't suffer from impulse buying an overpriced emergency backup system. Now, if you're ever struggling with aquarium lids fogging up or dripping water back into your light fixtures, try adding a strip of clear plastic binder spine or weather stripping along the edges. It creates a neat drip barrier and reduces evaporation. It's like weatherproofing your tank for pennies. Okay, brace yourself for this one because it's a little wild. If you're trying to hatch brine shrimp and don't want to buy one of those fancy hatcheries, you can make your own using a 2-liter soda bottle. Cut off the bottom, flip it upside down, and attach an airline tube with a valve. It looks a bit Frankensteinish, but it works like magic. I raised a whole batch of baby fish on this contraption and they thrived. If you want to grow algae for shrimp or snails and don't want it taking over your display tank, try using a separate container by a sunny window. Add a rock or piece of driftwood and just let it sit. Within a week or two, it'll be covered in delicious green algae, and you can drop it into your tank as a gourmet treat. It's like farm to table for fish. Let's talk about fish photography. Trying to snap a decent pic of a speedy fish is like trying to photograph a squirrel on espresso. But if you dim the room lights and use a flashlight or phone light angled just right, you can bring out their colors and slow them down enough for a great shot. Plus, they tend to pause when they're curious about the light, so you can catch that perfect moment. Now, if you've got snails laying eggs everywhere and you're trying to control the population but you don't want to harm anything else in the tank, try placing a piece of blanched zucchini in the tank overnight. In the morning, it'll be covered in snails. Scoop it out and you've just done a population sweep. No chemicals, no drama. One of my favorite visual hacks is using black construction paper or a printed background behind the tank. It makes your plants and fish pop like crazy. You don't need an expensive 3D background to make your aquarium look amazing. Just tape it to the outside of the glass and enjoy the transformation. If you've got trouble with light leaking out the sides of your aquarium lid, or you want to direct light better onto your plants, try lining the underside of your lid with reflective material like aluminum tape. It boosts your light coverage and gives your plants an extra little sun bath. You can also make DIY plant weights using airline tubing and fishing sinkers. Just wrap the tubing around the base of your stem plant and insert the sinker. It keeps things grounded without damaging delicate stems. Your plants stop floating away like confused balloons. Here's a hack I love because it's fun and functional. Use a small magnetic glass cleaner to hang a feeding clip. You can move it around from outside the tank without sticking your hands in. Handy when you're feeding veggies or algae wafers and want to keep them in one place. Sometimes your fish need a timeout. Maybe they're bullying others or just need to chill for a bit. Instead of setting up a whole new tank, use craft mesh and suction cups to create a tank divider. It's perfect for separating aggressive fish or making breeding areas, plus it's cheap and totally customizable. Last one for today, and this is a good one. If you've ever dropped a small screw or part into the tank and panicked, just grab a clean turkey baster or use a small magnetic retrieval tool. You'll feel like an underwater secret agent retrieving treasure from the deep. So there you go. A bunch of DIY aquarium hacks you'll wish you knew sooner. These little tricks can save you money time and, more importantly, a lot of stress. Plus, they make you feel like an aquarium wizard, which, let's be honest, is part of the fun. If you try any of these or have your own favorites, drop them in the comments. I'd love to feature some in a future video. And if you found these helpful, please comment aquarium hacks. Like, subscribe, and join me next time as we uncover even more ways to make fish keeping awesome without the headache.